Hi, my name is Anjum and I am the director of the Asian Business Chamber of Commerce. Today, you will gain an insight into what the judges are looking for and how to tailor your application to maximize your chance of winning one of our business awards. Please use the Q&A chat box for any questions that you have, and we will get to those and answer those as well. I'm going to start today by introducing the panel. So, Amer, can we start with you, please?
Hi, my name is Amer Awan. I'm the Managing Director of Awan National and Awan Real Estate. I was on the board of the chamber, I think 21, 22, Anjum, I believe.
Yeah.
So yes, it's an honor for me to be a judge again at the ABCC, and I look forward to listening to the questions that come across to us today.
Great, thank you. Amín?
Hi there, everyone. My name is Amín. I am the director of A-Team Academy. We were nominated last year for the Asian Business Awards. We managed to scoop 2 awards, which was quite surprising. So yeah, just to let everyone know, we're an educational tutoring exam center.
Thank you, Amín. Omar?
Hi everyone, my name is Omar Rashid, currently the president of the Asian Business Chamber of Commerce. Have run a HR consultancy and a previous winner of an award in 2018 as well.
Thank you, Omar. So just to give you a little bit more insight, we have 9 awards that you can apply for. And I'm going to kick off this session by asking some questions with the panel. So Omar, starting with yourself about specific eligibility requirements or restrictions for applicants. Let's start with, do you have to be an ABCC member to apply for an award?
Yes and no. So yes, if you are an ABCC member, then apply, not an issue. If you are not an ABCC member, then as long as your business or a branch of your business is located within the West Midlands area, geographical area, then you can apply.
So basically, any business can apply as long as your business is within West Midlands. Any restrictions on who cannot apply, Omar?
So if you're a business and you're not a member, not in the West Midlands area, then that would be an issue. If you're a member based anywhere, then there's no issues. And we also have a restriction where if you have applied and won an award last year, then you wouldn't be eligible this year. If you applied last year but didn't win, then that's fine. But if you applied for any award in the last 2 years, then you wouldn't be eligible to apply for this year.
Thank you, Omar. Moving on to yourself, Amer, you've been a judge for the ABCC now a number of times. What would you say are the key factors the judges consider when evaluating applicants?
Yeah, well, I've been a judge twice now, and I've had the pleasure of reading through hundreds and hundreds of applications. And there's some key things that we do look at as judges when we are reading the applications. See, the basic thing is the questions are there for you, and we as judges look at, have they actually answered the question? Because what we did find in the past, a lot of people just waffle on about their business, but there's a question there, and has that question actually been answered? And obviously they give you some bullet points that you must mention as well, and have they been acknowledged as well? So these are the initial things, but then we also look at, well, you're applying for the ABCC Awards. What positive impact or changes have you made as your business made towards the Asian community, and not just the Asian community, but I think community as a whole? And the most important is, well, how well is the application written out? I mean, I had the pleasure of reading some amazing applications with so much stuff in there that, we could take on board and be able to judge the application a lot better. And obviously use supportive evidence as well. There's photographs, graphs, all sort of stuff that you can use. And I think for us judges, that is the key factor when we're judging the application itself.
Thank you, Amer. And so just touching on as being on the judging panel, how does the judging panel handle conflicts of interest, especially if some judges are affiliated with particular companies or industries?
Well, I think I had that issue once when judging application. It was actually a family member who had applied for the award, and I'd mentioned to the rest of the judges in the panel that, look, I know this person very, very well. And it's clear that I was not able to judge that application, which I think is very, very fair. So it's that's the procedure that the ABCC takes.
Thank you, Amer. And Amín, coming on to you as the winner of the Outstanding Small Business of the Year, and then you also scooped the overall Business of the Year as well. So judges were really, really impressed. What advice would you give to anyone applying for an award? So when you were applying or you were nominated, did you think you were going to win, or what areas did you feel that you had to?
Genuinely didn't believe that we were going to win anything, irrespective of winning two in the end. I would say when making the application, I think the key thing is not to get drawn into thinking what the judges are looking for, but rather focusing on your own journey. And in particular, as businesses exist, what problems you've been able to overcome, during the span of your existence and things like that. And maybe focusing on a few examples and elaborating on that rather than like inundating tons of examples and not going into enough detail.
Right. I will ask you another question, and what I will say to the attendees on this webinar as well, please keep putting your questions in the chat box, and I will ask the panel. They are individuals, Amín, and you probably also felt this at some point in your journey as well, who don't feel they have done enough to apply for an award. What advice would you give them?
So the thing is, what we may consider as being insignificant or not worthy, etc., could be a major obstacle for someone else. So what I would suggest is the fact that don't undermine some of the things that you think are irrelevant, and bring into talk about your story, talk about what you've been through, talk about your background, what you stand for, the values. I know that's some of the things that I certainly put across in my application. I think what we stand for, the objectives of why we're in business, etc. We made that very, very clear.
Thank you. We've had a question come through, which I will ask. I think someone just missed the opening where, Omar, you were explaining who could and couldn't apply for this year. And I think they're asking, they applied on 2022 and 2023. They don't say whether they won or not, but can you just repeat your answer again, please, Omar, on can they still apply if they've not won? And if they have won, can they still apply?
So simple enough, if you won in 2022 or 2023, then unfortunately you cannot apply, regardless if it's a different category that you're going to be looking to go for. If you applied and you didn't win, then yes, please feel free to obviously reapply, and obviously the best of luck for this year.
Yeah. Omar, can you clarify the timeline and important dates for the application and judging process?
Yeah, so it's I think the point to make this year is it's also online as well. So there's a new way to apply, and the deadline is set for 1 minute before midnight on Sunday, the 15th of September. So don't leave it till the last minute, don't leave it to that weekend. And I would just start thinking about what you want to, familiarize yourself with the application form now, familiarize yourself with the questions, with the bullet points that are there as a guide, and just start thinking about it now. Maybe just in your head, maybe jot a few notes down, start thinking about what it is that you want to put in, what you want to think about, and think and yeah, start kind of planning now. Don't leave it until the very last minute.
Last minute. No, thank you for that, Omar. So as Omar mentioned, it is electronic process this year. So you would just go on, log in, you can save as you go along, and you can finish it later. And we have had a question which is asking about the application and can they finish it later, and the answer is yes. So do make a start on that. Amer, as a judge, how do judges ensure a fair and unbiased evaluation of all applications?
Well, I think I've already touched upon the first point, that there's a conflict of interest. We have to mention that initially, and then we don't get to judge those applications. And as judges, we're also given a brief as to how to judge the application. And I think that's quite important to make it very, very fair. And, you know, together, I think collectively we come to an end when we've gone through the applications. We discuss the whole application, what we think, how the application has gone, how the applicant has performed. Then collectively we have a discussion, and we decide who the overall winner in that category is. So that makes it very fair and a very open book, and I can categorically say it's very, very fairly done.
Great. No, thank you. Amín, coming over to you. How has winning the ABCC award positively impacted you and your organization? So you won an award and then you won the overall as well. So what was it like for your organization?
Didn't have any effect at all. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely cemented our brand out there. A lot of people, when we approach a lot of people, they already know who we are. They've seen us on the BBC. They've seen, you know, there is just instant recognition, especially, you know, in the local area. So it's a lot more easier speaking to vendors, suppliers, because they already know who you are. There's a trust aspect as well in terms of what you do. So yeah, I would definitely say that it's had a major impact on our brand.
Right. Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Omar, a question has come through, and the point that is being asked is there an opportunity to submit any supporting documentation or testimonials, etc.? I think you're on mute, Omar.
Sorry. Actually, can I refer that to you, Ange? Because it's an online system now, so I'm not sure
Yes.
how. I don't know whether how the online system supports
Yeah.
it. Generally, I would say yes, do it, but I don't know if you can just clarify. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
if the
sure.
online portal.
So with the online portal, you're enabled to upload images within your questions and answers. However, you can add links into your application. So making it a lot more thorough, and making sure that, you know, people don't go over their wording and don't send too much where others are not able to do so. We've had another question come through. They're asking if the application is live on the website yet. I can't seem to find it. It is. If you go on to our website, you go to our awards section, and you will see a tab at the top saying apply for an award under ABCC Awards, and that's how you will be able to do it. But what we will do is share the link as well with yourselves on that. Coming across to you, Amer, any other advice regarding the question? So you did touch on this, you know, the best practices for completing the application. What's been your experience? And there's a question, are companies answering it, or what's the best way to answer the question, really?
Well, I think it's quite important. I think the applicant who's writing the application knows their business very, very well.
Yeah.
It's their time to shine and put as much concise information in the application as possible. Look at the question, what's being asked. Make sure you answer that concisely. That's very, very important. Because we had some applications yesterday, and look at the word count as well. I think that's very, very important. I remember last time in an application I was reading through, and I think it was 100 or 120 word count on that particular question, and there was 2 sentences. Now, how can we judge such an important question, which is asking you for 150 words, and you're going to write 2 sentences? Make the most of that space and the word count. That's very, very important. And don't just cram stuff in. Put the relevant information that the question is actually asking. Answer that question. I think that's probably the key thing. And someone touched upon, use all the supporting documentation that you have and evidence and testimonials as well. I think we had some application with testimonials on there, and that makes us, it makes it easier for us, should I say, when judging the application. And most important thing is, ask yourself, have I answered the question? Thoroughly read through it again. And these, I think, are the key points, because that's what we're basing the applicant on and the application on as well. So I think those are the key points that they must adhere to.
Yeah. No,
sorry,
thank
I'm
you.
gonna step in there. Sorry. When you mention supporting evidence, I would suggest putting in relevant examples of what you mentioned in your application. So we put in a lot of pictures to showcase what we did, etc., and so on.
Yeah. Well, this year, unfortunately, you can't upload images. However, you can add links. Yeah, so it's a little bit more different. So anyone applying for the awards online this year, you can't go over the word count anymore, and you won't be able to upload images. However, you can add links. So if they're 3 questions, and each question will tell you how many points you will, or the majority points that you can achieve on that. If, as Amer has mentioned, if you're only going to give us 2 sentences, it's very tough on the judges to kind of give you a high score on that. Even if the judges are aware of your business and they know what they're doing. Amer, I remember a couple of years ago when you were a judge, there was an application, and we did find that as well, that the judges are not going to score you on knowing your business. They're scoring you on what you actually put in your application. Is that correct, Amer?
Yeah, 100%. It's I mean, being in the business community, we know a lot of businesses out there. And just because we kind of know what the business does doesn't mean to say, well, yeah, no, he's very, very good and he's very good at doing that. I'm not going to judge it on that. We're going to judge on what's written in front of us.
Yeah.
And how well they've described their business and how well they've actually answered the question that's been asked.
Yeah. Right. Omar, what day is the awards ceremony, and what does the night entail?
So it's on a Saturday, 30th of November in the evening. It's at the ICC in Birmingham. What it entails is a celebration, probably one of the largest celebration of the Asian business community in the region. You'll hear a fantastic speech by the president. There'll be entertainment, an amazing meal, up to about 500 people in attendance, a great opportunity to network, and I think it's a great opportunity again for your business to be showcased. Even if you don't win, they shortlist 4 to 5 businesses for each category. Your business will be highlighted, will be announced that you've been shortlisted. So even if you don't win, again, in the magazine, in the lead up to the whole night, and on the night itself, your business is showcased that you are shortlisted. So it's a great opportunity, and it's generally a very, very good night as well.
Thank you, Omar. Amin, anything to add on that?
Well, listen, this is, like I said, if you're taking time out to do the application, make sure, I'll just reiterate again, answer questions. You know your business inside out. It's your time to shine on the night, and do your best that you are the winner of the category.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better. Omar, we've got a couple of categories, and they are asking for specific requirements, like the Outstanding Charity of the Year or the Young Achiever of the Year. Do you want to just kind of touch on those 2 categories that are different from the others?
Yeah, so for Charity of the Year, you obviously need to be registered as a charity. You may also be like a CIC or a social enterprise, or sort of like a voluntary community group. So that is fine. Outstanding Young Achiever of the Year. I know everyone feels young at heart. I'm 40, still feel young. But unfortunately, it is it is capped between 18 and 35, and you need to be within that age on the night of the award. So if you turn 36 on the 29th of November, one night before the event, then unfortunately you wouldn't be eligible to apply.
Right. Thank you, Omar, on that one as well. So, as you mentioned, if you want to apply for Outstanding Charity of the Year, you've got to be a registered charity or a CIC or a social enterprise. And the Young Achiever of the Year is open to applicants aged between 18 and 35. One of the things that I would advise is that you make sure you check the award category breakdown before applying. So that is on our website once again, and I know that my colleague has shared that in the chat box as well. Check out the criteria before you apply for an award. Omar, how many awards can a company apply for?
2.
2. That's right. So you can't apply for any more than 2 within the 9 categories on that as well. Amer, coming back to yourself, is there anything else that you can add in regards to when the judges get together to discuss their scores? How is it decided who the top four are, who the winners are?
Yeah, like I said before, it's when we come together at the end, we discuss all applications in each category, and we all give our feedback on the application, what we feel are the plus points and why we consider this application to win. There's other discussion going on with the judges as well, what their thoughts are. Collectively, we decide, okay, these are the positive factors which are going to take this applicant to be the overall winner. So it's a collective judgment of the application. So yeah, it's I think that's the first way that it's done, and I mean, we've been doing for so many years now like this, and I've been in the process twice, and it seems to work better that way, that we all collectively decide at the end who the overall winner is.
I have a question, guys. How many judges are on the panel?
So we've got our chair, which is Rod Condola. He's from the director at the Chamber of Commerce. And then we have another, in total, 4 judges on one chair who oversees the whole process. Okay, great. So my colleague has put in the chat box that for supporting documentation, you can add links into your answers. For example, a link to a Google review page or a link to a downloadable PDF document. So I stand corrected on that one. A question's come through is, will I get confirmation that my application has been submitted, and when will I hear if I've been shortlisted? So as soon as you submit your application, you will have an email confirming that your application has been submitted. And in regards to when you will hear if you've been shortlisted or not, we are hoping to announce the shortlist week commencing Monday, 30th of September. So literally just over 2 weeks on that one as well. Okay, I'm just looking at if there's any more questions. We've already answered this one, but I'll just kind of mention it again. You can start your application and finish it later. So as long as you finish it before the deadline, which is 15th of September, 11:59, a minute before midnight, as Omar has mentioned. Omar, how much is it to attend the awards ceremony? How do I get tickets? So someone's asking if they want to attend, how much is it, and how do they purchase tickets?
So the tickets are on the website. You're testing me now, aren't you? I think if you're correct me if I'm wrong, if you remember, is it £120 a ticket?
It's the same price for everyone.
Okay, so it's
Everybody
£120. It is £120 for a ticket, and you can also buy a table of 10 as well.
Yes, you can. So we do have some platinum tables, which will be nearer the front. We do have sponsorship opportunities available. So if you're interested, please get in touch with me or any of our business. Sorry, any of our colleagues or any of our board members. Another question has come through. For the Startup Business of the Year category, for how long the business must have been trading before this application can be submitted? Amer, can I come across to you on that one?
I can't actually remember what the
2 years. 2 years.
3 years.
2
Sorry,
years.
2
So
years.
you might have been registered 10 years ago, for example. You might have just said, oh, I've come up with the IP or registered the business, but you'd need to be trading for at least up to 2 years to obviously not up to the 30th of November this year.
Correct. So if you are a startup and you've been trading less than 2 years, that a category is open to yourself. Omar, we've included a new category this year as well. We've gone back. So we've included the outstanding contribution to diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
Anything do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I think there's obviously a lot of businesses, there's a lot of individuals, consultants that support equality, diversity, that make sure that their business goes over and beyond ensuring that, equality, diversity is maintained and sort of, lived and breathed. It's not a tick box exercise sort of thing. So we encourage either those organizations who can demonstrate that they do great work for equality, diversity, either internally or whether as a business they advise other businesses on how best to do that. You know, we encourage for those to apply as well.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So yes, as Omar mentioned, we've included the outstanding diversity and inclusion back again, as it's really important for us as the Asian Business Chamber of Commerce. So if you are doing great things out there, and that comes under that category, do apply as well for that category. Okay, so general top tips. Let's give some general top tips. Amín, let's start with you. Any top tips that you would like to give to anyone thinking about applying for an award?
Keep it personal. Talk about your story. Don't get too bogged down by thinking what the judges are looking for. Keep it unique to yourself.
Thank you. Amer?
I think a top two for me would be, I think, apply for a category that actually fits your organization, because it's such a diverse kind of so many categories, and you will know which category your business will fit into and best way to submit the application. So I would say, yeah, apply for a category that fits your business.
Thank you. And Omar?
I would say plan in advance, and I would also encourage that before submitting, you get other people to read it. That might be might be a family member, might be a trusted business friend, a colleague, might even be a client, because what you think you do is valuable, but there might be things that you think is not valuable, but to other people they will say that's quite valuable, or they might perceive other things that you do as quite valuable. So it's always good to, you don't act like you're alone in this. Yes, it's your business, etc., but I would also definitely get other people to proofread it, to check it, to see what else might be missed, and that all kind of goes into your planning. Don't leave it last minute sort of thing. Can't start thinking about where you want to go with it from there.
I just had one thing, Anjum. I think it's important that I think a business is so diverse nowadays. There's so many categories, so don't just leave it to one category. Apply for other categories too. If you remember a couple of years back, we had somebody who won in, I think, 3 categories, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they won two awards and then won the overall as well, didn't they?
They did. So, make the most of your application. Apply for the other categories if you can do.
Yeah, so as Amer has mentioned, enter more than one category, so that's 2 in total, to improve your chances, but make sure you adapt your answers to the category specific questions. So I think we've had that pitfall before as well, haven't we, Amer and Omar, where people have just copied and pasted onto another category, but not really answering that question. So we would advise that read the question. They won't all be the same in every category as well. So if we've got a few minutes left, so if you've got any more questions, please do type away on Q&A. Just to so as Omar mentioned, it's £120 plus VAT. You can purchase tickets online. You can purchase a table of 10. We will be closing a week before the 30th of November for tickets as well. Is there anything else, Omar, Amín, or Amer, you'd like to add to anyone who's attending this webinar?
Bring pack lunch. The lunch isn't great.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'll say that again.
No. The dinner is amazing, guys. The food was great last year, so yeah, no need to bring sandwiches or anything.
Thank you for that, Amín.
Yeah, I think just look forward to the evening. It's a room full of great caliber of people in there, and it's time to showcase your business. So yeah, listen, apply for the application, make sure you come to the dinner, and yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's a celebration. So
yeah, I would just say, look, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Even if you don't win, but you're shortlisted, that's still a win, and it's a part of PR that very rarely are you going to be able to get. And I think the other thing is, at these awards, generally some people attend that very rarely don't go out networking. So if you're out networking, some of these people may not be there, but at the awards, they will be there, and that might be the only time that they then find out about your business. So just go for it.
Fantastic. Another question's come through. Do I need to answer every bullet point under the questions? Amer.
It helps.
Yeah,
I'd-
100%.
Yeah, I'd say it helps.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, we give points on the question that you've answered, and the bullet points that are on the application, they must be answered because that's the answer that we're looking for. So if the bullet points are there, make sure you answer those questions as per the bullet point.
Perfect. Omar, were you going to add anything onto it?
Yeah, I was just going to say it helps. What I would say is if you feel that that bullet point you're unable to demonstrate or you've not got enough or whatever, I would say there's no harm in saying that this might be something you might be looking to do in the future, and if that is what you're going to do, how will you do it? If you feel that there might be a bit of a shortage in that instance.
Right. Thank you, Omar. Amín, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is when you submitted your applications in, who did you get involved in reading or proofreading or adding to it from a business point of view?
So I had a couple of colleagues around me that proofread everything that we submitted in our application. Because you're absolutely right. When you're sort of like writing it yourself, you can get a little bit narrow-minded. You like we mentioned earlier that you know, something that you might not regard as being significant can be quite significant to others. So we collectively reviewed our application, and that allowed us to actually take a few things out or put a few things in. And again, pretty much what Amer mentioned, plan ahead and write it in advance so that you're not leaving it last minute because, you know, it's like school homework, isn't it? Leave it last minute, the quality is going to be lacking.
Yeah. Very, very true on that one. Thank you for sharing that. My colleague has shared in the chat that if you are shortlisted, you will receive one complimentary ticket to attend the award ceremony and then can purchase more tickets if you wish. But just coming back on Amín's point as well as a previous winner, and Omar as well as a previous winner, don't leave it to the 11th hour. Do get people involved, your colleagues. Sometimes we can hold ourselves back in saying what we have achieved or the difference we have made or our business has made. So we don't always talk about, you know, I've done this and this is the impact it's had. So it's nice to listen to your colleagues. It's nice to get some feedback from your customers as well, and add that bit into your application. And as Amín has mentioned throughout this webinar as well, you're telling a story, you're telling your story. So the judges are not going to mark on what they may know about you. They're going to mark on the story that you tell and how you can back that up as well as you go along as well. I'm just checking if there's any further questions. I think we've answered them all now. But if anyone does have any questions, you can email ABCC Awards at birmingham-chamber.com. Any questions relating to the awards as well as the applications. All I am going to say is that we have recorded this webinar and we will be sharing this out for those of you who missed the beginning or anyone who's looking to apply as well to get some answers. Just before I end this webinar, just a quick give an opportunity is that Omar, Amer Awan, anything you want to add before we come to the end of this webinar?
I suppose the only thing to say is good luck to everybody, and just do the best you can, and wish you the best in the evening.
Thank you. Omar?
Yeah, exactly the same. All the best for applying. And yeah, you got nothing to lose and go for it.
Thank you. And Amín, sorry.
Just give it a shot, because when we applied, we weren't thinking that we would, you know, win one award, let alone two. So I would say just give it a shot. You know, you got nothing to lose.
Perfect. Great. So thank you to the panel, and thank you to everyone joining this webinar as well. We look forward to receiving your applications or any queries that you have. Do contact ABCC Awards at birmingham-chamber.com, and I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you all.